Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you probably already know what I'm going to be making just by reading the title of this video, I am going to be making some cinnamon rolls, and I'm first going to show you guys all the ingredients that you need, and then as I make the video and as I put ingredients into whatever bowl they need to go into, I will let you know the measurements as I go. And yeah, let's get started. Hope y'all enjoy. Okay, what you will need is some sugar because you will need 2 packages, but unsalted butter. You want to don't get salted butter. You'll need unsalted butter. You'll need powdered sugar, brown sugar, 2 eggs at room temperature. You'll need instant vanilla pudding. Make sure you get vanilla pudding, no other flavor. Salt, Philadelphia cream cheese. You'll just need an 8-ounce package. And then vanilla extract, cinnamon, and then let's see, milk. I already measured my milk out. It's 2 cups of cold milk. And let's see, and of course, just your cooking, utensils. You'll need a roller. You'll need 1 cup measurement, a teaspoon measurement, and a tablespoon measurement. You'll need, this is a silicone brush, but if you have whatever brush is fine. And then a whisk, this mixing spatula thing, just so at the end I can kind of scrape everything out. And then I just have a butter knife because I'm going to need this to mix the yeast and water and sugar together. And then I just have this measuring cup. Okay, before I go on with this video, let me just give you a couple of tips. One, this is time consuming, so make sure you do this on a day that you are like totally in the mood to bake, because it is very time consuming. And another tip is make sure you have old clothes on, because you will get dirty, trust me. But I have old clothes on anyways right now because the flour tends to get everywhere and you will have a big mess to clean up for sure. And let's see, what's my other tip? Oh yeah, another tip is what's very important about this too is make sure your eggs and your butter and your cream cheese is all at room temperature. The first thing that we have to do is get a 1/2 cup of warm water, and you're going to add 2 packages of these yeast into it with 2 tablespoons of sugar. So that's the first step. Then you're going to put it aside and let it sit there for 6 to 7 minutes. And then once it starts foaming, then you know that your yeast is working. So I added my yeast in there. Now I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then you want to mix that. That's why I have the butter knife. You want to mix it until it kind of all dissolves. But if you don't see the yeast foaming, then your water temperature probably wasn't the best. So you might want to start over, because if you don't get your yeast to foam, then when you actually make your cinnamon rolls, they're not going to be soft and fluffy, and the dough won't rise, if that makes sense. So I'm going to set that aside. You want to get a bowl about this size, because this is what you're going to put all your dough in. And you want 2 cups of cold milk, and we're going to put 1 package of instant vanilla pudding, and this package is 3.4 ounces. Make sure you get vanilla instant pudding. And you're going to put the whole thing inside here and mix it up. Make sure you get it mixed up first before you add all your other ingredients inside here. Okay, so once you add your instant vanilla pudding inside here, you're going to add your 1 stick of melted butter inside here, and just keep on whisking it together. And you want to also add in 1 teaspoon of salt with 2 room temperature eggs. It's going to be kind of looking thick, that's okay. And then now you're going to add your yeast mixture inside of here. So you want to add all of that in there. And then you want to just keep mixing it until it all dissolves in here. And then in here, we're going to also add 8 cups of flour. I do 4 cups at a time. Okay guys, I'm back. So I measured out 4 cups of flour in here. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this inside this mixture, just like that. I know you're probably thinking like, holy moly, that's a lot of flour. But guess what? You need 4 more cups of flour. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like when you add your 4 cups of flour in. So see how it's kind of looking doughy now? So it's kind of getting tough to mix, but now I got to measure out 4 more cups of flour. So I'll be right back. So here's my other 4 cups of flour. I'm going to empty this in, and then I'll show you what it looks like and when I take it out of here and what I mean by kneading it on here. So I'm just going to keep mixing this and working all this flour in here and come back and show you all what it looks like. All I did was empty all of the mixture onto the table, and it doesn't look like it's like gonna be, you know, good, but it will. I'm telling you, you got to really work this dough in, and really you have to mix it and, you know, knead this dough for at least like a good, I don't know, I want to say like maybe 10 minutes until it gets all, you know, you get all these pieces together, and then I'll show you what you have to do next. And so this is what it looks like after you put your 4 cups of flour in. This is a total of 8 cups of flour. So it should look like something like this, and it should be very, very soft. Now what we're going to do, the same bowl that I used to put the flour in, I just washed it out, and we have to put some oil. You need, because this is what we're going to put the dough in here, and the dough is going to stay in here for, you don't need a whole lot of oil, just like that's fine, just kind of, you know, one little swipe around is great. You want to set the dough inside here for 45 minutes, and you want to cover this with saran wrap and leave it at room temperature. So I'll be back. It's just putting saran wrap, and you want to make sure that you secure your saran wrap and there's no air or no little holes going through. So what I do is I normally put one across that way, then I turn the bowl and I put one across that way. And it should, your dough should rise a little bit. Then after 45 minutes, we're going to go back in there, take the saran wrap off, and push all the air pockets out with your hand. Cover it back up. If you need new saran wrap, I suggest you get new saran wrap, but if it's still intact and it's still good, then use the same saran wrap, and then you're going to let it sit for another 45 minutes. So I'm back. It sat for 45 minutes, and now we're just going to undo the saran wrap, and we're going to actually put our fist and kind of get rid of all of the air inside of it, and just kind of go maybe about, I don't know, 6 times that. And now I'm just going to put the saran wrap back over it, but just make sure that you put the saran wrap over it and there's no air actually getting in it. And if there is, then you might want to put another piece of saran wrap, because you don't want no air to get in it. And then just set it in a warm, dry place for another 45 minutes. I'm going to get started on the filling, and what you're going to need: 3 cups of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. So this is what it looks like, and it's just brown sugar and cinnamon. 3 cups of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes now, and this is what it should look like. The dough should look like this. Yeah, so basically your dough ends up sitting for an hour and a half. 45 minutes for the first time, and then 45 minutes for the next time. So anyways, so I'm going to just kind of get all the air pockets out. And what you want to do is sprinkle flour on your work area where you're going to roll your dough out. And you just don't, because you don't want the dough to actually stick to this. As you can tell, my dough is really soft, which is good. That's what you want. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees because you're going to bake this for 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to work with this and probably sprinkle a little bit of flour on here. And then I also want to sprinkle some flour on my rolling pin, because this is what you need. And then you just want to, this is a workout, let me tell you. I'm not even kidding you. I'm back, and I rolled the dough out. You want it to be widthwise 32 inches widthwise. Lengthwise, you want it to be about 21 inches, and you know, kind of make it into like a rectangle shape. Then you want to be very you know, generous with this. Put your butter. You need 2 sticks of melted butter, and you can just put the butter in the microwave and melt it. And you want to put butter everywhere on all the corners, because this. Okay guys, I'm back, and so I'm about done putting the butter everywhere. See, this is 2 melted sticks of butter, and you seriously use it all, like really. You want to use it all. So I'm done there. So now what I'm going to do next is get my filling mixture, which is the brown sugar and cinnamon. Make sure you sprinkle it everywhere. Okay, so I'm back, guys. So you can see I used all the mixture. You just spread it out. So what you do next is just start from the top, and then just work your way all the way down, and just keep rolling. Keep folding and rolling all the way to get to the bottom. And then you want to tuck your bottoms in really good so that way it doesn't come apart. We'll cut these into about maybe 1.5 inch to 2 inches wide. Okay guys, so I'm back and this is what it looks like. And when I'm talking about closing in your ends, you want to make sure that you just kind of press down so that way they kind of tighten up. And I usually get flour and just kind of put it on so that way it doesn't open back up. I normally do, that's good, is put flour on the surface part where I'm going to roll this and cut it into slices. So put flour there just so that way it doesn't stick. Okay, and you can kind of work with it and move the dough, stretch it out if you have to, and then we can cut. And you want to get a bread knife. So what we're going to do is cut the ends off, and they're going to look kind of uneven, and you can still bake this if you want to, or you can get rid of it. Whatever you decide to do is great. Okay, so I'll show you a little tip of mine that I do if I'm going to do it on this table, because I don't want to ruin my table with, you know, cutting. So what I do is just stick this underneath your table cover and then cut. And so we want to cut about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. If you cut it 2 inches, they're going to be really big. This made 16, and this would also be 18 if you wanted to keep the ends and cook them. You can, but they're just uneven. So whatever you decide. You're going to need 3 9x13 pans. Just get it all buttered, and then go ahead and place 6 cinnamon rolls in each pan. And remember to get your oven preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to cook them for 20 minutes after they have sat for another 20 minutes. Okay, now what you want to do is, you'll see the end where it's at, pinch it together so that way it stays closed. Okay guys, so this is what it should look like. Just put 6 in a pan, and now you're going to put saran wrap over and let them sit for another 20 minutes in a warm spot so they can rise again. I'm back, guys. It's been 20 minutes, and this is what they look like when they have sat for another 20 minutes. Now I'm going to just take the plastic off of the cinnamon rolls and place it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. More like 20 minutes, but if you feel like you need to put it in for an extra, you know, 2 to 5 minutes, then go ahead and do that. We're going to get started on the cream cheese frosting. So you'll need 1 Philadelphia 8-ounce thing of cream cheese. Make sure it's at room temperature, as well as your butter. Okay, so we're going to put that in here with your 1 stick of butter. And you are also going to put vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And so now we're going to cream this together. And you don't need a mixer. If you don't have this KitchenAid mixer, that's fine. Just use a hand mixer. I think that's what they're called. After it's done creaming, you're going to put 3 cups of confectionate sugar. And if it's too thick, you can always put like a tablespoon of milk to help with, you know, it not being so thick. This is what I mean when it's too thick. You don't want it to be like this. But just add in like 1 tablespoon of milk and you should be good. So this is what you guys want it to look like. I don't know if you can see how it's just kind of falling off. This is what they look like before I put the frosting on. And I'm telling you, they are huge, so you'll probably want to share this with somebody. Basically, what you want to do is just get the frosting, put it on top. It will eventually melt everywhere. And voila, and then you're done. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video.